Don't hit me with 2x4s.
Why not?
Because it goes against our code. Rule number 1. What's rule number 1?
Don't die.
Yeah. So, if you try to...
But rule number 1 is not don't murder.
It's accurate.
So...
But, like, that's one of God's top 10. So, there's that. Like, I'm just saying.
That's one of God's top 10. Oh, Frankie.
Hey guys, welcome to 3 Mississippi. Sid here. Thanks for clicking on the video. Man, today we're going to show you how we got the next section of fencing done with some help from the family. And I'm going to show you all of those elderberries that I harvested. I harvested some more off the other side of the bush that were ready. And I went ahead and made some of that fabulous, wonderful syrup. I'm going to show you how I did it too. Let's get after it. Guys, last night we were at a friend's house while they were doing some roping in their arena. We are down at a friend's house and they are having a little bit of a roping exhibition tonight, so we get to enjoy a little bit of it. I'm going to show you some of it. Wave, Ryan. Ryan's waving. Wave, Beth. Beth's waving. Wave. Can I wave? Frankie's waving. There we go. And there's Morgan. He's not live. He's previously recorded.
Recording. Happy yesterday.
And Chrissy called me and they were going to be heading back from Florida and they're actually going to come by for a couple of days. They're actually just pulling up right now and they're going to help us put the finishing touches on getting things ready for the farmers market tomorrow, and they are going to help us get the fence finished this weekend. Nothing like family to get a project done, and as you can hear, the dogs know they're here. Parker and Frank, you're going to go work on the fence. Guys, we are very lucky. We've had a wonderful couple of evenings here. Chrissy and Jeremy from Paragon Ridge Ranch came back. Well, we had a ridiculous heat advisory today. Sun's finally going down and it's cooled off considerably, but you walked outside and you were just instantly soaking wet. It was ridiculously hot earlier today, so there was no working on the fence until about now. So we've eaten. We had a nice barbecue. And they're fixing to get started on working on the fence for a little while until it gets dark. And we also had Tim and Dana, some of our subscribers. You may have seen them at the meetup that MT Homestead put on in Oklahoma earlier this year. And they came down because they just live right near us and they've been coming to the farmers market. And we had them come over for dinner too tonight. And she made some mac and cheese and some shrimp jalapeno papas that were chef's kiss. And I didn't film any of that because sometimes it's nice to just enjoy the people, and sometimes we like to share it with you guys, and sometimes we just like to turn the camera off and just enjoy the people. So that's what we've been doing. But now we're fixing to get a little bit of work done, so let's go do it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm trying to figure if I can use the scraps there for this row.
Right.
New row from there to there. I guess I'd have to use some.
Yeah.
75. 100 feet. About 120.
100 what?
120.
Yeah, you had 155.
55, yeah.
You said 330 foot
Yeah.
minus. Yes.
Minus 175.
Yeah, so that's 155.
Minus 120.
Jeremy, you got your calculator out doing that math?
Heck yes. My calculator's broke in my head, so I gotta use it.
Where's that partial roll? Oh, it's right there. Let's try to move that with the bucket. Let's try not to have to put the forks on. Go grab the tractor, would you? Bucket's got concrete in it, don't it?
Yes, sir. Concrete you told me to put there.
Is there a pallet laying in there that we can set it on?
Maybe.
Let me see my gloves. I'll help you. We'll be done quick.
Your gloves are in there. These are mine.
Why are we walking over there? We got to ride.
Well, I don't know.
You trying to tell me I need to exercise?
I said that as respectfully as possible.
She thinks I'm a little lazy, I think she's a little crazy. We like summer and we like spring, watching wrestling in the ring. She ain't shy, she speaks her mind, tough as nails and smooth as wine. We burn hot as kerosene, baby, we got our own thing. She ain't skinny and I ain't tall, and that don't bother us at all. I run naked through the yard, she flash every police car, drinking wine and getting tired, shooting out the damn street lights. How does she put up with me? Oh, baby, we got our own thing. We got our own thing. We don't need no rain. We ain't rich, but son of a, we're a hillbilly king and queen. Life don't seem so hard with you beneath the stars, 'cause we're growing 4-leaf clovers in the yard.
There ain't nothing that he can't fix. He's a hard-headed.
Right. Mostly right.
It made it that lengthy.
It did, yes. That's true.
You know, the bummer is, when we did that one, it just rolled. And then it stopped just fast. It was perfect, and we weren't filming it.
Oh.
That's how it always goes.
He's only had one heart attack. He can pie beneath the moon. Paper plates and plastic spoons. We're as close as two sardines. Baby, we got our own thing. We got our own thing.
We don't need no rain. We ain't rich, but son of a,
I got good news and bad news. So, I didn't find the machete, but I found the sheath for it. So, I don't know what you did, but whatever it was,
I don't
it
know what
wasn't right.
you did. I bet you it's laying in the back of the Polaris.
No,
Or it's
I've
laying in the
emptied
pasture
Polaris
somewhere.
Like 4 times.
Then it's laying in the pasture somewhere. It's bounced out.
Hello.
I bet you.
You'll find it when you mow.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, yeah.
Yep. That's why I tell your dad, don't leave stuff back there.
Yeah.
He don't listen to me.
Dad,
He
what
needs.
if your machete came out the back of the Polaris?
That'd be a bummer.
Yeah. That's why I told him he needs a farm action go bag. Keyword being in a bag, not loose in the back of the thing.
Yeah, that's in front of it.
Cutting that right there because now these are going to slide all the way off. Okay. Yeah, see. And then the last one, what's that?
You might be done time to keep that.
Yeah, this is the worst part of it right here.
Are you wrapping this around those bodocks?
No, I'm coming around the bodock and tying it around the
This,
post that we
the
cemented.
post. Okay, gotcha. This one right here.
Roger
So
that.
that's gonna be a little. It's not gonna quite be right, but it'll be fine. It won't be right, but it'll be fine.
Close enough.
Frankie, how you with that weed eater?
I don't know. I've never used a weed eater because I don't like them.
We need to clean up. At least
You don't like the weed eater?
I don't mind mashing the
Something about weed
Well-
eaters. I don't know.
with shorts on. That's what stuff.
I know, that's what I was just thinking. Oh, there's a battery.
Preston has his Crocs on.
Yeah, but you don't have. Oh, you do? Well, then I'm gonna let you do it.
Yeah. 18 volts.
Yeah.
Hey, look, man. We only need to get like right here up against this post. All the rest of this, I don't mind mashing those weeds with the fence. But right here where we got to get down there and tie, that's the only spot I'm worried about.
Got Preston in here to save the day.
I used electric weed eater before.
Yeah, neither had I.
Did you want me to go up in there a little bit? Or?
No, that's gonna be fine right there.
I'm trying to get this thing.
That right there is called prairie tea. It's an edible, it's an herb, and it's invasive as all But they come to a perfect point. Yeah.
Hey, Gabby.
I can't find my purple handle ones though.
You should go step in that hill.
Hey Frankie. You want to run down and grab that brace that we made for stretching this fence? Remember where it's laying?
Yeah. Yeah, grab that piece and bring it back to that pole.
Oh, we're a little too short on this
Yeah,
end?
kind of get.
Oh man, I didn't give myself enough up here, did I?
You have to re-roll it up hill.
I mean, we only need 6 inches. And
What do you want him to try to roll it back up?
I think if he keeps doing what he's doing, just walking toward us, can you walk toward us and pull it a little bit?
If you pick it up toward the pole.
Preston, walk towards your brother and pick it up closer to your brother.
Oh, we getting there? It is. You good?
Thank you. Is that a good?
That's good right there.
All right, got it. That's good.
It's too much thing to pack up a little bit. Come on. You getting trouble?
Need bug spray? Bug spray time.
That's all right. You know how to do it. All right?
Okay.
Right in his face.
We're gonna let a little slack off the bottom right there.
I'm just taking my foot right here to the face, okay? Careful. You seem coughing now.
Right? That bug spray got you now?
Was he spraying it up for him, right?
Yeah, she did.
Are you fixing to put a nail in it
I
now?
tried.
She's like mustard gassing y'all with that
If you want,
stuff.
you can start adding nails in the ones that
I know how bad the bugs are.
Oh yeah, they're no joke. Frankie went outside last night with him to harvest, and she had shorts on and didn't put any spray. She came back in with like welts all over the back of her legs. Parker.
Thank you so much.
Hard labor. pop up.
Need that
They
bug
are.
spray now, don't you?
Usually I'm pretty sour. They don't want me, but
Oh, the bugs out here are different. I'll be covered head to toe in bug spray and they'll still eat me.
I'm the one spraying right now. I'm choking.
you're actually teaching me something here.
Yeah,
'Cause I haven't done. Yeah, that's why I'm watching him because I haven't done this either. So
Yeah, it's not the easiest fence to put in, and there's a right way to tie these, and I'm teaching it to you
Nah, it'll
real
be alright.
sloppy.
real slide.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 3 like really perfect wraps right here. But we close enough for government work.
Are you gonna do every one of them?
I am. Every one of them.
Pretty little girl. My precious. Don't hit me with 2x4s.
Why not?
Because it goes against our code. Rule number 1. What's rule number 1?
Don't die.
Yeah. So if you try to,
But rule number 1 is not don't murder.
it's accurate.
So
But like that's one of God's top 10. So there's that. Like I'm just saying.
It's one of God's top 10. Oh, Frankie.
She's trying to knight you.
Did you take that part yet?
Yeah, she did.
Where's the screws? We need those screws.
In her
They're
pocket,
in the
in her
bucket.
Polaris, in a
I put
bucket.
them in the screw bucket so that we don't lose them. They're on top of all the other screws.
All right, you gonna be able to find them? They're not gonna.
Yes, they're on top of all the other screws.
Because those are the only screws of that length that I have in the Polaris.
Yeah.
That's why I was making sure.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm gonna pull it just a little bit more. Ready? Well, let me get it started and then you pull it tight. All right, ready? Yeah. I think she's good.
You ready to stretch?
Do I gotta put my foot on the brake or something here?
Nah. All right, now you got a lever to your right that's black. Pull that up. That's going to lift your rear implement off the ground.
It's like the blind leading the blind.
This up here with your right hand. Take your right hand and go like this. Yeah. Now come down a little. Now just pull that towards you. All right, that's good right there. Now you got a foot pedal, forward and backwards. That's it. You're done. You're certified.
I expect a certificate when I'm done here.
Yeah. All you gotta finish. Throttle, just throttle. Yep.
I expect a certificate when I'm done. Jeremy's getting certified in tractor operation right
he's
now
already
by Mike.
He's
Which,
passed the course.
that's sort of like the blind leading the blind.
Except for the left hand, right hand thing.
Well, he was mirroring me.
Yeah.
And I was saying right hand.
only one more section after this section that we have to pull. 2/3 done. That much closer to getting your horse. Same.
I'm gonna slap my mom with a 2x4.
Well, thank goodness, guys. We got another section of the fence done. We got to spend some time with some great friends, and it's always nice to have an extra set of hands. It makes the work go faster and a little bit easier. And we had a wonderful meal shared together and a great time. So we got church early in the morning. So we're gonna go wrap this up and settle in for the night and get after it again tomorrow.
I want to see my blinkers.
You got blinkers. Guys, I just harvested my second round of elderberries that were ready off my bush. This was the second round that I just did today and got all cleaned up. And then I have my previously harvested and frozen that I'm adding to the pot now. Yes, they're still in a chunk. Just for reference, this is roughly 10 cups of elderberries, and I'm going to kind of squish these around and break them up a little bit, and then I'm going to add just enough water to cover them. Break this pile up. I looked at several different recipes, and again, just kind of like with my picking process, I'm sort of picking and choosing the best things that I found that I liked. Yes, you might see there's a couple little stems here and there, but those are going to go through, this whole thing is going to go through a sieve, so all you'll be left with is the juice. Now remember that these are toxic. If you don't cook them, they can be harmful to you. The heat breaks down the chemicals in it that are harmful for you. So that's why this cooking process is really important. We are going to be mashing it in between to really release the juice from the berries while it cooks. But I'm going to be adding a couple other things to this. So I've got some fresh ground ginger that I'm adding into here. And this is probably, I just am kind of eyeballing it, to be honest, because all the recipes were kind of going off different quantities that I saw. And so this is probably, you know, maybe 2.5 teaspoons worth, I would say, roughly. So I'm adding that. And then I'm adding some ground cloves. I imagine, and in fact, I might actually do this. I have some whole cloves. I might add a few whole cloves as well, just because, again, they're going to be strained out here. When you simmer those whole cloves, it's really, you know, I feel like it adds a whole different flavor. The juice on its own is kind of bitter, so adding these things not only give you some added health benefits, the honey that we're going to be adding at the end after the cook, I think is really important, because not only for the health benefits of your local raw honey, but it is what's going to make it sweeter and a little bit more syrupy rather than just juice. Throughout this cooking process, I may be adding more water as needed, but I just want enough to kind of cover this now. As it cooks down and some of that water is evaporating, you know, I may need to add more to continue the cook. And in between, as this is simmering on here, cooking, I am going to come through and mash it with my masher to help release more of that juice from those berries. And I'm probably, once this comes to a boil, a slow boil here, I'm going to let it do so for between 30 and 45 minutes. And again, we'll check on it and see if I need to add more water in between. It's starting to get warm and it's starting to smell really good. You can really smell that, the clove and the ginger in here. I saw a couple people say too that they take the syrup and mix it with like soda water or sparkling water and make themselves like a little drink out of it with a little bit of the syrup in there. And that's a good way to get it in too. Remember guys, this is my first time making this, and I did a ton of research on obviously the actual berries themselves, and then several different recipes and why they make them, how they make them, and all of that. So I think, again, just taking the best bits of all of the things that I read and watched and trying to make the best batch that I can from our particular berries. Came to a very rapid boil, so I backed it off just a hair so that it doesn't simmer over, and I can let it continue to cook. I'm gonna set my timer for 30 minutes now. I'm gonna be in the kitchen here. I'm making some croutons out of some bread that I made, so I'm going to still be in the kitchen kind of babysitting this and mashing it every so often just to keep it happy. So guys, this has been cooking for about 20 minutes now, and I've just been coming by and continuing to mash it. I just mashed it, which is why it's like just now coming to a boil again, because every time you agitate it, you know, you anger the boil gods. So every time I'm just kind of coming over and squishing it. I have not had to add any more water. I added just enough water to cover the berries. Just let it do its thing. Let it cook down, let it boil, let it get all them toxin poisons out. And I do think what I'm gonna do, I saw a couple of the things that I watched mention doing this. Once it's kind of cooked down for a while, I'm going to run it through a sieve, get the juice out, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and return it to this pan and just bring it to a boil again, just to make sure, because the last thing you want to do is, you know, not have it cooked enough and all of that. So I'm just going to do that just to be on the safe side before I take it off, to let it cool just a little bit before I add that honey to it. We just hit the 30-minute mark, guys. I feel like it looks like it's gotten a lot darker and like there's more juice out, and like I said, I've been coming through and mashing it. Guys, a side note while this is finishing cooking, this is my honey. I got it from Chickasaw Honey, which is a local honey run by the same guy that, or I should say owned by the guy that runs the farmers market here in town. And I had some of it that had gotten a little bit crystallized, and so I had stuck it in a pot of the jar in a pot of warm water. I used my little handy spatula thing here to scrape the insides of it, and then I whipped it up really well. I just kind of stirred it all together with everything, and it kind of made, you know, you've seen people talk about whipped honey where you actually whip it with your blender, but I made it a little bit thicker, a little bit more fluffy, I guess I would say. I don't know if this is going to make a difference in the consistency of my syrup, but I'm hoping it will. One of my complaints sometimes about elderberry syrup is more of a cordial. So it's very liquidy, and it's hard to pour it out or get a spoonful out or whatever. I'm hoping maybe this will help with that. That's my croutons. They still need some more time, but they got some yummies on them. That's my homemade bread, and I got some olive oil, garlic, Italian seasoning, a little bit of rosemary, and salt and pepper on there. Okay guys, this has been going for 45 minutes now. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off and run it through my strainer. Push out the extra juice onto the berries that are left in the top here. I feel like I've pushed all this out, and this is just the remnants. I'm gonna put this in a bowl for my birds, because the birds will eat this obviously once it cools down. I'm not going to give it to them boiling hot. So I've got my other pot rinsed out, but I'm using a smaller pot now. I measured out the juice here. It's 2 quarts, right? When I line it up straight, it's 2 quarts. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this back in. So all those 2 rounds of berry picking, and I got 2 quarts of juice. I feel like that's pretty decent. I'm gonna let this come up again nice and hot, and just make sure that I've really cooked it. But you can see it's beautiful, dark juice. It smells amazing. It's got those cloves in it. It's got that fresh ginger that we added. I'm happy with it. I can't wait to add this honey to it that I kind of just whipped up into a frenzy and made it almost like whipped honey. So I think that's going to be amazing in there. So it's been in there for a few minutes. Just brought it back up to a boil here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it back off, and I'm gonna let it cool down before I add the honey. So I let this cool down a little bit. I still want it to be warm so that the honey will incorporate and melt, but I don't want to cook the honey. I don't want to lose the raw goodness of that local raw honey. There's so many good things in honey for you that, you know, if you cook it down, you're gonna lose some of that. So I don't want to do that. I'm just gonna add this in, and this is about somewhere between 1.5 cups and 2 cups of honey. Let's see. Oh guys, that is so good. You can taste the clove. The ginger I was worried was going to be overpowering because you could smell it while it was cooking, but man, that's good. Now remember, I've got my nice clean warm jar here. I'm going to pour this into here. I'm going to let this completely cool. And then I'm going to try not to make a mess too as I pour this. I'm going to store this in the refrigerator for up to 6 months. Now you can take, you know, I've seen people take anywhere between a teaspoon to a tablespoon a day, or a couple times a week maybe. And then I know there's people that really only take it if they feel under the weather or maybe feel like they're starting to come down with something, and then they'll take it several times a day for a couple of days. And I know that there's been talk of it, you know, shortening your cold or flu by several days, and I can attest to that. You know, I've taken it in the past when I've had it, when I've been able to get my hands on it. I'm gonna get this lid on here, this nice easy reusable lid. I'm gonna let this sit on the counter until it's completely cooled before I put this in the refrigerator. And I've got a whole nother jar and then some that I'm going to be able to make out of this. So I don't know if I'm going to keep all of it. I think I might give some to our friends. But again, this is not something I'm selling at the farmer's market, because this is something that if you were to can it, you're then you know, losing the goodness of that honey. Yes, you can do that. I don't want to. I'm going to leave it in the fridge for the 6 months, and it'll be gone well before then, I imagine. So there it is, guys. That is some amazing looking elderberry syrup. Yum. Good stuff for you, full of antioxidants and yumminess. Man, guys, I can't tell you how grateful I am to Chrissy and Jeremy from Paragon Ridge Ranch for coming and helping with that, and Tim and Dana Mason for coming by and helping with finishing up that line of fence, because then Mike and Ryan were able to finish that last section, and I was then able to go get some of my animals, which you'll see in this Sunday's video. So be on the lookout for that. And I hope you enjoyed the process of making the elderberry syrup. Man, that stuff is good to have in your fridge coming into fall and winter. It'll keep, like I said, for 6 months in the fridge, and that's awesome. You can take it daily if you want, or just when you feel something coming on, and it really just, oh, it's just a good little immune boost there for you. And if I do say so myself, that recipe that I did tastes quite nice. Quite nice. Anyway, if you try it, let me know. Tell me how it works out for you. I was really happy with how it turned out, especially since it was my first time making it. I was a little nervous about it, but man, it came out great. So super excited about it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the ride there. I'm so glad you guys were able to see us get that fence worked on, and some of that wonderful family time together. You just can't beat it, man. You can't beat having good friends, and I love it. So big shout out to Chrissy and Jeremy for their help on that this week. So appreciate you guys and love you guys. And as always, stay blessed and safety's off.